intro. Welcome, all of you out there.
Well, you just take my fucking lead in. That's fine. Oh yeah, do you?
No, feel free. We'll do. You do it. You do it.
It's not my show. Come up with your own intro.
It's the branding. It's we always go welcome. Whether it's
I did take it to the Overcooked channel.
Overproofed or Overcooked coming soon. Rhodes is working on something pretty cool. I'm excited about it. Hopefully,
I'm glad that you're excited about it. I was happy to make it, even though it was a fucking 4-hour process. But we have some good projects. We have the Overproofed, which solid concept. Again, I will kiss your ass on this. Like, great. I wanted to do it ever since I saw it on TikTok, and I was just like, how would we go about it? You know, would we have the time? You know, and then making 60-second TikTok videos they're difficult. I will hand it to TikTokers that do well. They're skilled. But I was like, okay, how do we do that? But I think we got it, and then we got Overcooked coming, and I'm excited. I'm excited for tonight, to be honest.
Yeah, not only if you joined us last week, Rhodes did not partake in the whiskey. This week, he decided to go full on. We're going to be doing the Balcones Stil Bourbon. Just going to go a quick shot of what we're working with right here. You'll notice the red one in the middle. That's the Texas Balcones Stil Bourbon. Yep. The side of it, you know, that's what we'll be working on in the upcoming episodes. We've also still got the Infinity bottle that we'll be adding the King's Tax of every bottle to. And at the end, we're going to figure out what that tastes like. And it could be really awesome, or it could be really, really horrible. I added some Elijah Craig. You know,
oh, did you?
Yeah, it was mentioned by one of our friends of the show in a previous episode. Had I ever tried it? And you know, I was ignorant to it, and I've had it a few times since, and I'm enjoying it.
You've never had Elijah Craig before?
I've never had Elijah Craig before.
Well, I mean, as we've discussed on last show, your expansion into the whiskey world was minimum.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we had a single-minded goal. But now we're branching out. Now I'm excited to branch out too, because the thing I did last week with the try different beers thing, I think I'm just going to stick to the Overproof, the whiskey part of the show. But my little add to it would be what makes the best old fashioned.
Yeah.
Right. And today I don't have an orange peel, but I got everything else. And I like the cherry part of old fashions. Not always the generic old fashioned adding cherry to it, but I like cherry flavoring. So I added to it. And so I'll be trying the whiskey with you, but then I'll be, trying my old fashioned, because I like sip drinks. And I feel like old fashioned is good middle ground for me, where it's sweet, it's whiskey, and I can sip it and kind of not feel like I'm drinking a Mike's Hard or a Truly's. So,
you lost me at Truly's, but you had more street credit than Mike's Hard.
Yeah, you're correct. I can't drink the seltzer shit. It's terrible. It tastes like if someone ate fruit, died, and then haunted your kitchen. That's what it Truly's tastes like. Like if it just breathes over your water, that's what Truly's and White Claw tastes like to me. It's just TV static and bad life choices.
I've yet to have a Truly's, and I shall be avoiding it. Who knows?
They were my first thing when I landed in the States, because they don't have them in Germany. And I landed in the States. I landed in the States, and I was like, I'm going to try this White Claw shit. Let me see what's up. And I got the black cherry because it's my favorite flavor of anything. And it was, I immediately took a sip, and I was like, nope, I'm handing these off to my mother-in-law or my stepmom. I was like, I'm giving them to my stepmom because these are atrocious. Never again. No.
Makes sense. Whatever works for you. We are going to begin the sampling. On my end, I have a sniffing tasting glass. I have
a generic glass from my cupboard. I was going to buy a sniffing glass, but they're like $20.
I think I got them cheaper than that on Amazon.
Well, yeah, on Amazon. I was shopping
Yeah.
today.
Got some water to proof down and also try it just with a splash of water and see what it tastes like. And we both have the Balcones pot still bourbon. That's what we're working with today.
Right off the bat, the labeling of it is
that
catches the beautiful red, and the corn.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. And so when I was in the store today, I noticed 7 different. We were talking about it before. 7 different kinds of Balcones. It's everywhere. At least in the store I went to. Even when I went to the Class 6 first, I only found the blue ribbon one. Mm-hmm. And the labels look great, but there's so many different kinds, and it kind of made me excited to try all these different ones.
Yeah, to
see, one for the future. The guy at the Class 6 told me that the Balcones is good, but then the black and gold labeled one, it's like $70 a bottle. Oof. But he said it was the smoothest whiskey he's ever had because it's super aged. Like super fucking aged. And he said it's $70 a bottle, but it is well worth it because it was beautifully smooth, rich, flavorful. And I was like, okay. See, I'm not spending $70 on a bottle right now, but
Kenny, you I don't know if you caught it or not. I got some Elijah Craig, buddy. I'm
just for you, Kenny. There's this very subtle man love going on between Kenny and Rico, and I fucking love it. I love it.
Yeah. So talking about Balcones again, they've got a bunch of different of their own bottles, and a lot of the Texas distillers, obviously you can't come to market with a whiskey like you can a vodka, like a flavorless vodka. It's got to age. So a lot of these brands are actually out there sourcing from Balcones and then making their own mix. So, definitely it's big.
Oh, they source the whiskey from them and then kind of make their own blend?
And then they make their own blend.
Kind of like with your Infinity bottle, they kind of I don't know if I would have pride by blending.
So
because I'm sure it's a science in its own, like it's a skill. Right? You gotta know a lot about it. You gotta be really good at making whiskey or knowing about whiskey in order to blend whiskeys, but it would be like it's like remixing songs. Like make your own music, like do that for fun. Like a lot of artists, like they'll remix a song for fun, but they make their own music. Like
I get what you're saying, but you can't just like make a whiskey, sit it in a barrel for 2 years and hey, this is what it is. That barrel, that people are the distillers are tasting along this time period every so often to see where it's going. And then even when that's done, they're mixing with different parts to get what they want. You can't really, it's not like, I would say it's not like making a song.
Well, yeah, a lot of people, it doesn't take 7 years. Ooh.
That was a good pop.
That was faint. Weak like the rest of my body.
It's okay. We go ahead and get that started. Not a lot, just enough to get the party going. For those of us just joining, Balcones Texas Pot Still Bourbon. That's what we're drinking tonight. Rhodes is actually joining me. He doesn't really do straight alcohol. I've never seen him sip an alcohol like this. This is exciting for me.
It is. So like you're getting comparison on the show. So as we're gonna, Rico is well versed in the world of alcohol, in a realm of it, right?
Yeah.
You are an avid drinker, or at least you used to be.
Yes. I still drink now. I just have a lot more respect for it.
Which is good, which is healthy. You're supposed to do it in your 30s. Myself, like I didn't drink before I was 21, and I was in Korea, so I just drank whatever was in front of me at that point. And then when I got back to the States, I didn't really drink too much, and I would just drink because it was social. So I started drinking Mike's Hard and stuff because I wasn't trying to get shit-faced. I was just trying to be social and drink a little bit, take shots here and there. and I'm not big on just straight alcohol. Like I'm never like a sip tequila, sip vodka, sip whiskey kind of guy. Like vodka cranberry, vodka Red Bull. Fuck yeah, I'll do that. Long Island
Nothing wrong
iced
with that.
tea. Like I'll do a
Just
Long
a
Island.
lot of alcohol is mixed together with nothing else in it, so that's basically straight alcohol just all together.
You're correct, but
How
the
old
Coke
am I?
tricks you. The Coke tricks you.
Kenny, I just turned 39. Oh,
39?
January. Yeah, I celebrated my birthday.
That was older than I was thinking in my head.
Across the pond.
That was older than I was thinking in my head.
That's okay. We met each other 6 years ago ish.
7.
7 years ago.
Yeah, 7 years ago. Good fuck.
In my eyes, you're still that 21-year-old guy throwing up after doing a Fireball vodka shot.
Hold on. Just to clarify, we were all throwing up.
Yes.
And Rico has no gag reflex.
Mm-mm.
And even he was throwing up. That was a bad night. I still hate you for that.
Yep,
actually.
You should.
Yeah, so as a reference, right?
Kenny,
that was our relationship.
We're bros.
For a reference, ladies and gentlemen, that was our relationship with alcohol for a long time. Vodka Fireball swirl shots.
Yep.
Because we had nothing else. And I was drinking grapefruit Mike's Hard as a chaser.
Yep. That's
probably all they had in the PX. It's just terrible. So you're getting a contrast. Like Rico kind of has a better flavor profile for this stuff. I'm kind of a really new guy. Like I like Gentleman Jack. I searched a bunch of whiskeys, found that like Gentleman Jack as a kind of sipping Coke, Jack and Coke kind of thing. I like that. Now I'm venturing out, so I'm excited for what we got going on here.
So really, you're going to get anybody watching, anybody listening when we get this out on audio. You're going to get two unique or two different perspectives. You're going to get somebody who doesn't really. I'm past the burn part of alcohol. Rhodes, this is
that's a big factor for me, to be honest. Is the burn of it. Like that was a big thing when I was looking.
6%, so it's 94 proof. That's
decent burn. How long is it aged?
That's a solid question. I don't
think it says.
Yeah, there's no age statement on, so it might actually.
We did a lot of research on
this. No, there's no age statement on it. Because if there was an age statement, I would have mentioned that.
Oh, it was bottled.
Yeah, it was bottled on the. Mine was of March 13th of 20. So this one was almost a year old.
It was bottled in 21.
So yours is newer than mine.
Fairly newer.
But these are fairly new whiskeys. These are not
aged at least 24 months in oak.
Yeah. And
so at least 2 years. Which is not a long time for whiskey. So like the burn is a big thing for me. So we will
you can actually pour a whiskey into a barrel and pour it right out and still claim it was aged. That's what some people do, and then they add the coloring to
it. You don't say how long it was aged. That's why saying the years is important.
Right. You don't add it. They don't add an age statement. So they're pouring into a bottle, maybe not a bottle, a barrel, leaving it there for a little bit of time, very short,
like a week,
and then adding artificial colors. We're not getting that with a Balcones. We're getting something that's been sitting. So like last week. Kind of hard to pick up on camera. Ooh, you can a little bit. You're noticing
that oil.
Yeah, that oil.
Yeah, you're not going to get it on mine.
So it's good to go. All right.
Oh,
hey, we got somebody new.
Ooh, we got a twitcher.
My
ding dong is like a piece of string with an anvil attached to the end of it. Very unwieldy. Okay. What remedy would you recommend?
All right, if you're over 21, Balcones pot still Bourbon.
Well, don't worry all about the squish. I too have disproportionate penis ratio, so it's okay.
All right, so you ready for this, Rhodes?
I am fucking stoked, my friend. Right. So I am all sorts of ready.
We're gonna start with the. We already know the color. We checked it. It coats well, and let's go ahead and get that sniff in. So leave your mouth open slightly. Smell
Okay.
with the nose.
I'm getting the sommelier tips. Now I look retarded. Okay, I see how the smell is different when you get a little bit when your mouth's open.
Yeah. So now you're basically aerating it with your mouth, and your nose. It's all circulating. What do you smell?
So right off the bat, the very first smell, I got straight just alcohol, right? Bad life choices, a little bit of regret.
Okay.
The second and third ones, right?
If you got to reset, don't forget how to reset. Hey, dab that. Get that dab.
Oh, I just got jujitsu sweat. That's a good. So I just got done at a live open roll mat for the last hour and a half. So yeah, I just smelt mats and people. Like I just got beat up by strangers for an hour and a half. So I'm getting caramel.
Okay.
Definitely
Which
getting
is
the caramel.
it's a bourbon.
Yeah.
So that's common.
See, my nose palate is not as good as my mouth palate from cooking. And we're both smokers, which does not fucking help at all. My kids poop, and my wife's like, "Do you smell that?" I'm like, "Not even a little bit." Like I'm getting not a citrus, but like a fruit.
Okay.
Maybe like a dark fruit. Like
I'm getting raisins, heavy raisins.
Yeah.
I'm getting heavy raisins, which I wasn't expecting because we actually pulled up the what other reviewers had said regarding this, and their thing on the nose was cocoa, corn, vanilla, muted spice.
I'm definitely
caramel.
getting the vanilla
and
the buttercream. Not getting the cocoa, and I don't know what corn is supposed to smell like. Besides, like obviously the smell of cooked corn.
Again, I'm getting that's the most dominant thing for me right now. Heavy
vanilla,
heavy raisin.
Oh, I got like a mixture between, like, to me it smells like vanilla yogurt covered raisins, like we would feed our kids.
Okay,
that's what I'm getting.
All right, that makes sense.
And it only kind of computed as soon as I saw the vanilla and you said the raisin. That makes sense. That's that fruity kind of smell I'm getting. I don't know what muted spice is supposed to be.
I don't know muted spice either. The more that I'm smelling it, I am starting to get more of the buttercream because I think I'm getting nose blind to the raisin. It's not off-putting whatsoever. I would no.
That first sniff got me, but yeah, it's a pleasant smell. It's not like Jack. Like
so Jack
no matter how many times I put it to my face, like it's just alcohol, just straight to the
which
dome.
Is interesting because Jack is one of their things is they are charcoal filtered afterwards. So they have like it's whiskey, but Jack has its own thing because of that charcoal filtering, which I'm sure other companies do, but it's very prevalent, and Jack is very
like it's common. Such an alcohol-y smell though. Jack, at least to me it does. And then this is kind of after that first initial one, like it's a smooth smell.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind the aroma. It's not bad. I'm gonna drink some water before we do this.
Yeah, you want to clear it up? We got some drinking water here.
I got some nice heartburn already going, which is great to start with.
All right, what do you remember from last week for drinking?
Nothing.
All right.
I had a very busy week, man. I don't remember yesterday or today. And I just got kicked in that dome, so
that'll
I probably shouldn't be drinking.
So it's going to be a very small sip. It's going to be a sip like it's hot coffee you just got out of the pot. So just a
okay. Are we trying to aerate it as we sip it, or just kind of take it and kind of let it sit for a minute?
No, don't let it sit. You could take it down. Just
Okay.
note, like on the first sip, note what you're feeling on the beginning of it, and then on the second or third, we'll see what the finish is like, or the finish might be very, very apparent.
Okay. So try to get the palate off the bat.
Mhm. Your face says, "I don't normally drink straight bourbon."
100%. That's what we're anticipating here.
Uh,
So do you want me to go first?
yeah, go for it.
Oh. So
And this is new to both of us. Neither of us have tried this before.
this
So-
specific bourbon, no.
This specific one.
Yeah. And I'm, as I said before, new to the whole whiskey bourbon kind of thing. Like vodka was my go-to for a long time.
Mhm.
So now that finish is starting to set in. So my
Mhm.
first one, the first palate, I kind of I think I got a lot of that oil over the top. So like it was a
Mhm.
solid, like alcohol sheen. Actually kind of like popcorny, like buttery.
Mhm. It is very buttery.
Yeah, it was buttery.
Mhm. It's very oily, and
yes.
right now it's just coating my glass.
Oh yeah, that I've noticed. I've noticed that as we're sitting here, I keep swirling it because it is oily, like my fried rice oily, like that is oily. Which I don't know
So-
if that's a good thing for whiskey or not.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a good
Does that
thing.
just come from the barrel? I'm assuming.
Or else it would just be too watered down.
Is that
So the
something that comes from the
alcohol is-
distilling process, or
What the alcohol
that
is?
top that oil coat there?
Yeah,
Is that an additive? Is that just from the natural
Yeah.
process?
That's just, especially something like this, they're not adding anything to it, with the exception of the mash. Which on this one, the mash is very different compared to what we had last week. This one is, I believe it's 51% blue corn. It's got a rye portion of the mash, a sour mash. There's some other factors too, which is very different than the buck 8 that I had last week. So again, everything, it's science, man. It's all coming together differently. It's technically on paper the same product, but completely different.
Well, it's just like the theory, going to like a different restaurant for like Mexican food. Entirely different things. Like they could be next door and they're going to have different things. It's like so you were getting the buttery thing. What else were you getting?
I was definitely getting buttery. Citrus. When you said the popcorn, I guess I was associating with the butteriness, the popcorn of it. Slight maple, maybe. Definitely
my acid
the wood
reflex
note.
is not making this easy.
Do you want to prove it down?
No, not right now.
Okay.
That's not going to help. It's just this is going to be a thing either way.
Well, normally Rhodes does not drink 94 proof straight alcohol, and I commend him for this. Thank you for joining me on this journey.
I'm so a little bit more background about me. Like I've just, as of recently, or the past year when we were in Germany, I was also trying to have a better relationship with alcohol as I was getting older. And I don't drink anyway. I was like, what I would like is to be able to come home, have a glass of something, and know what I'm drinking. And my first aunt got me into this because he was like a junior mixologist. Like he would come home and like make himself like a really nice mixed, kind of like an old fashioned or something like that, and just sit and kind of sip it and talks about the whiskey. So I was like, I want to do that. That's how I got to the Gentleman Jack. Tried Bullet Bourbon, tried normal Jack, Gentleman Jack. And so doing this excites me, trying to get more into it, because I just kind of want like a nice glass of something that I can enjoy, I can give to people, and they're like, man, that's fucking delicious. Like that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, everything is going to be, people are going to approach every bottle differently, every different flavor. You never know what's going to be different. For reference, I've got the Elijah Craig right here, small batch Kentucky straight bourbon, 94 proof. And this actually doesn't taste similar to the Balcones outside of the normal bourbon notes. So I had this Elijah Craig sitting for a bit. It's been sitting probably for an hour. Nose, more floral. Taste completely different.
Is it?
especially after the the Balcones.
Yeah, like from
Very different.
just remembering like the Gentleman Jack that I had a while back, like a entirely different.
Mhm.
Like the Gentleman Jack did not have that buttery taste. I'm also just looking at it and seeing the chalk and the chalk flavoring for the palate. Like I'm kind of getting that. Like I wouldn't be able to describe that myself, but seeing the word and tasting it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if because we have these notes here from others, I'm wondering if that is kind of influencing where we're going on the taste.
So if anything, for me at least, like I'm trying not
It's
to
giving
read
you
it
a point of reference,
beforehand.
maybe.
It's giving me a reference. Like I'm drinking it, taking a sip, and like I can't really place what it is. Because me tasting a food, I can tell you if there's cardamom or thyme or basil in it. That's where my training and background from culinary school is. This kind of stuff is new to me, especially since I'm not an avid drinker. All I get most of the time is just alcohol. So I got to go past that to the flavoring.
That's the Balcones. Again, it's kind of hard to see, but it is thoroughly coating the glass.
Oh yeah,
this here.
Thick.
It's thick. It's oily. This is the Elijah Craig.
And looks similar
in proof. They're similar in proof, but it's definitely thinner. There's a heavier oil content with the Balcones, which is interesting. Like they both coat. They're both they both have, neither of these are not quality, but the Balcones, it's just it coats, and I think that's where the butteriness is like coming to.
I would say so. I think that makes sense. That's what it would be from.
All right, I'm gonna add a drop of water, get the oils to the top. Not going to stir at all. So no stirring. The nose is actually more alcohol now.
Yeah.
It's way more alcohol now in the nose with just a drop of water in there. Chocolate. I think that's where so when you drop the water in there like that, it's going to magnify the oils of it because that's coming to the top without mixing. And now
so I got a lot more of that alcohol bite with it now.
Okay. I got a lot
like it definitely separated that oil, and that's what I'm getting a lot of that alcohol bite.
Now, with that same water in there, swirling it, get that mix in. Now the oils aren't separated. Now it's proof down. A lot more grainy. Yeah. That's why there's nothing wrong with adding water or ice to.
Like I was definitely getting a chocolatey finish. I was definitely getting that cocoa finish for sure. Like that was definitely a thing.
All in all, I am quite pleased with it. I respect this more than the Buck 8. The Buck 8 in retrospect, last week I gave it an 8. And after sitting with it for a week-ish, I decided to drop that down to a 7. I found that it was too easy to drink. That waffle coney taste to it, it almost candied it. So it was too sweet. It was like not drinking alcohol, really.
That really sounds like I should have bought it.
Yeah, the bucket.
So I would not place this that high on the scale. Like I didn't thoroughly enjoy it.
No. So let's say Jack is your baseline. Would you drink the Balcones or would you drink the Jack? And keep in mind, Jack is not a bourbon. Jack is just a whiskey.
No, Jack is a whiskey. Straight, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably go for the Gentleman Jack.
Okay.
Just because Gentleman Jack was it was the reason why I picked it after trying a bunch of different ones was it was smoother.
Okay.
That's what I look for because I don't like that burn. I don't like that high alcohol taste. I want the flavors of the whiskey because I'm not as good as finding them as say you are. So I want to get past that alcohol burn.
Okay.
Into the flavor, and I liked that about the Gentleman Jack. It was less bitey.
Try proofing it down a little bit more. Add a little bit more water.
Okay, let's go a half teaspoon. Sorry, rather.
I think after proofing it down, it's a lot more muted.
It was just that half teaspoon. Yeah, it definitely is. I'm definitely getting way more of that, like a woody vanilla. Definitely way more of the wood.
Basically, you're removing the higher alcohol content. You're bringing that proof level down to a more appropriate flavor to your palate, which there's nothing wrong with. Again, I used to be that guy like, why are you mixing your whiskey or your bourbon or whatever? Just drink it straight. It changes everything.
Yeah. Put some ice in there.
Now, how would you? You're going to go ahead and change that further. So what are you going to do?
What am I going to do? So
yeah,
I added. So I'm going to make an old fashioned. It's something I've been interested in for a while now. I've been interested to see, kind of if it would be my thing. I've never had an old fashioned. I like mixed drinks. It kind of takes the bite of the alcohol. I'm still getting some alcohol. I am drinking, but I can still taste it, which is important too. I don't want to not taste my alcohol because I don't drink just to get drunk anymore. Back when I was 21, drinking soju, yeah, let's get fucking wasted. I'm an adult now, so I actually want to enjoy. Irish, McCready.
Let me show Irish why I have a ring light back there. It's
Please.
all about.
There we go. Yeah, fuck off with your judgments, Irish.
It's all for staging, Irish.
Damn streamers.
He always has quality shit though.
That man had better fucking from his laptop camera. So yeah, so I made an old fashioned. So I doubled it because I just wanted a little bit more. I did half a teaspoon of sugar. So this is it doubled. A teaspoon of sugar, 6 dashes of bitters. And I went with the Fee Brothers Old Fashioned bitters. Okay. Right? This is what I was told to get.
I've never once in my life used bitters, so
neither have I.
Let me know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know what they do, but it's like key in old fashioned.
The nice guy at the store said you need the bitters.
Well, it says old fashioned on it. Like they had all sorts of bitters. They had pickled bitters, peach, cherry bitters. And I was like, I'm trying to make an old fashioned. He's like, this is the one. I was like, okay. A teaspoon of water. I did 4 ounces of bourbon, and I don't have an orange peel, but what I did do was add a little bit of cherry juice from a maraschino cherries, and then 2 cherries in there. Just a little bit of cherry juice. I didn't want to overpower it.
Do you find that the Balcones is now drinkable for you when you come home and have a drink now that you've mixed it?
Let me see. It smells spicy, like a good spicy. Not like white people mayo spicy, but like
mayo
like
is
a
spicy.
Spiced cake spicy. Like
Gorilla Glue is spicier, but mayo is spicy also.
Gorilla Glue.
Andy, what up, dog? Now, did you prefer it mixed, straight, proof down? Where you at on it?
Honestly, when I'm drinking it, all I'm getting is the whiskey. I'm not getting I don't know what the bitters added to it, the sugar, the cherries. I'm just getting straight whiskey or the bourbon. It's not bad though. It's almost it's more doable for me now because it's.
For those just joining us again, we're checking out the Balcones Texas Pot Still Bourbon. Rhodes is also joining in. He's had it straight. He's had it proof down. He's having it mixed.
I'm giving you the bitch opinion.
He's no, it's a different opinion.
I said what I said.
Different opinion.
Wait,
this just in?
And he was right.
Okay, I'm good to go.
Oh, so am I a bitch? Is it?
The active noise canceling is on my ears. So, all right, what'd you add now?
Nothing. I just stirred it up a little bit.
Nothing. It's getting used to it.
Yeah, I think what I really need to do is have this made by a professional bartender as well, and not have acid reflux when I try it.
So I don't know if I've ever had an old fashioned, but a whiskey sour.
See, I've heard of those.
Whiskey sour is good, no matter what I mix. Even what did I have? I made share one last week with the Wild Turkey 101, a higher proof than the Balcones. And she had a few of them. Not a few, a couple.
Mama got wasted.
What's up?
Said Mama got wasted.
No.
Cher's a classy lady.
That downing the small amount of the Elijah Craig just hit me in the esophagus.
Oh, did it just right in the hard spot? I'm gonna eat this cherry for funsies. That I just fished out of this old fashioned.
So, Rhodes said he prefers a Gentleman Jack, which is a whiskey. Still, these are all whiskeys that we're reviewing so far. This is specifically a bourbon, but some people are whiskey guys, some people are bourbon guys. I've got a rye.
Scotch.
I'm not really a rye guy, but I've got a rye coming up soon in a future episode. This is Redemption Rye. 46% also, 92 proof. That should be interesting for me. I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy that. Will I drink it? Yes, I purchased it.
Yeah, see, so that's my fear now. I didn't honestly like this too much. I'll play with it a little bit, but I don't drink. So a bottle that big will last me months. This might last me even longer.
I think
eventually just going to have bottles stacked up here that are 3/4 full.
Hey, you'll always have a selection available whenever somebody comes over for a tasting then.
That I will. I'll be like, hey man, you want to drink some whiskey? Or a neighborhood party. I just show up with 9 bottles of whiskey. And they're like, dude, that's a little much. I'm like, no, I've had these for 2 years. I've had all these bottles since the first episode.
This is the remnant of last week's Buck 8.
How did that finish? Did it get better as you went on?
It got so easy to drink that I found myself wanting to drink something else that has a punch in the back of the throat to me, or else I'd have been not drinking anything. I'll have 4 of these.
So you wanted a bite because you're I'm not drinking.
Yeah,
whiskey.
it's like driving a car. You could drive a Camry that's really smooth, or you could drive something that's going to kill you, and you respect that thing more because you could feel how insane it is.
I understand
that too much. Your Camry. I'm just using Camry as an example. Sorry to anybody that drives a Camry. It's numb.
No, we're not sorry. You're driving a fucking Camry.
But if I was driving a Wild Warthog, let's say, Gotta respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand this analogy, and I respect this analogy because having grown up around jet boats, that analogy makes sense, and I can easily apply that to the whiskey. Because do I like a day cruiser, or a pontoon boat or a bass boat that you can cruise? Yes. Do I also like the 120 mile an hour speedboat my dad had that was illegal on public waters? 100%.
I bet you respected your dad's boat more than you did.
My dad respected it. Like we called it the death boat. It was obscene. We would race cars on the highway. Like this was not a boat for the faint of heart. But yes, you respect it a little bit more. So I understand. Now you make me want to get the Buck 8 even more.
I think the Buck 8 is
like you saying it didn't have enough of a bite is me going, that's my whiskey.
It didn't have enough of a bite. I'm telling you, the waffle cone aspect of it was so dominating that it was incredibly easy to drink.
Oh, that would go great with cherries.
It's a bourbon, so cherries might work with it. So that's the end of the Buck 8. Rest in peace, Buck 8. You go to a graveyard soon. However, the King's Tax is now in here.
You didn't leave that much left over the Buck 8 as you did the other ones.
I didn't, because I found it was too easy to drink.
Did you get down to a point where you're like, do I drink more or do I save it?
Yep, that's exactly where I was last night. I was like, oh crap, there's not a lot left, and it needs
do I go buy another bottle?
I'm not going to go buy another bottle. I mean, eventually I will buy another bottle of Buck 8. I did enjoy it. I just found, for me, it's too easy to drink.
I like that. I will indeed try this. This I will try. 100%.
So, revisionist, as far as me, Buck 8 is a 7. The Balcones Pot Still Bourbon, it's very well crafted, very different flavors altogether, especially compared to like other bourbons that I've had. There's a quality to it. It's hard to give.
So do 2 different ratings. Drinkability and flavor, I think.
Okay. Flavor? All right, so start with the Buck 8 then, revisionist. The flavor on the Buck 8, that I will still stick with an 8.
Okay.
The drinkability, a 7 for me, even though it's really easy to drink, it's just too easy.
So we want it to be easy to drink, but it wasn't enough whiskey-like for you.
Yeah, it was just too easy. It was just like, I'm sitting on my computer, the bottle is next to me, I'm playing a game, and I don't realize I had 3 already because it's just it's candy.
See, for me, I would give it a 9 because of that.
And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, the scale is always different. Like,
yes.
But for myself, for this one, for the, I always keep wanting to say wrong, Balcones. I would give it a 7.5, even though I'm not big on whiskey, and I didn't really like the bite, and it didn't really go well in the old fashioned. I think it was too dominating for an old fashioned, which I don't think is what you want. I appreciate the flavor. So drinkability for me, I would give it like a 5.5, 6.
Okay, I figured. I was afraid you were going to go so much lower.
No, like a 3? No, because I've had.
How dare you? This is even though it's new, it's only 24 months. This is still well crafted.
No, it's solid, well crafted. So that's why the drinkability for me is lower, but the flavor, I give it a 7.5 or an 8 because even though the burn is a little overwhelming for me and it's kind of hard for me to enjoy drinking. I can still appreciate on an artistic, appreciative side the flavor for it. It's very complex. It was very well palated together, and so I do appreciate that. I will give it that.
Okay.
I'll even go with an 8. I'll just go with a solid 8. I think that was very good flavor profiling. I could get the different notes. And I think as we go along with this and I try more whiskeys, I can identify them a little better and not have to look at the notes.
Yeah. I think next time we do this, whether you come along on the journey or not, I'm not gonna put the notes on the alcohol prior to drinking it because I don't want it to.
So you're just gonna see me go, whiskey. It tastes like whiskey. Tastes like that one weekend I don't remember in Korea.
Okay, I still haven't scored the Balcones, so let's go. All right, I'm going in. Nose. Still heavy raisin, which is weird to me.
I still get that.
Still heavy raisin, buttercream. Okay. See, this is 8 to me, taste-wise. Because
I agree.
Because, like, even though it's harsher to drink than, let's say, the Buck 8, it lets you know it's there.
Yeah.
I can't drink or I won't drink 4 or 5 of these in a row without realizing it. If I get past that third glass, I have made a very, very conscious decision to continue drinking when I should have stopped. The nose is not my favorite. I don't know if I love the raisin nose on it. That said, flavor's an 8. Drinkability for me is easily an 8 also. I'm with it. And I think it's just crafted really well. And that's it.
I agree with you on the flavoring. I think the flavoring was great.
Mm-hmm.
I have zero qualms with the flavoring because I can still pick it up even though it's strong to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that. Because even though I like something for myself that, doesn't have quite of a bite, I don't want it to not feel like alcohol, but then I also don't want it to just be, generic and not be a unique experience.
Yeah.
Like vodka.
Vodka is flavorless, goes with everything. It dominated the 80s and 90s, almost killed the whiskey industry because nobody wanted it. At that point, the whiskey makers were scrambling to make light whiskey, which was basically a
non-aged,
vodka. Right? They basically threw it in a barrel and it got some of the darker wood coloring and claimed it was still whiskey, but it was not.
I mean, I kind of understand it, but like, I look at whiskey and I'm like, I'm going to drink this for the flavor, for the whiskey. Right. I drink vodka for what I can mix it with. That's why vodka is useful. It's because I can't, like, the thing I can mix whiskey with is Coke, right? To like,
just a little sharp nose and a drinking glass. Got it.
Yep, right. Like vodka, though. Like vodka, the point of vodka is that you put it with anything: cranberry juice, orange juice. Screwdrivers are awesome. Red Bull. Like that's the point of vodka. Like it's not and I've seen people like sip vodka. You're sipping gasoline. What the fuck are you doing with your life? Like, I respect you if you're sitting there with a nice glass of whiskey, or even just a moderate glass of whiskey, and then because this bottle cost me $29.
Yeah.
Which for me, a little expensive. I'm more looking for like 18, 20. Cause I'm also broke. But 29, not a bad spend.
Yeah.
One of these days, I think we should try like that $70 bottle of Balcones.
You let me know.
I think you'll fucking love it.
When you tell me you're ready, then I'll just jump. So you let me know. Until then, we're sticking. Until you say let's do it, we're gonna stick to middle of the road stuff. $20 to $30 range, very achievable whiskeys, bourbons, rye, Scotch. What do we have?
Middle of the road's where we want to stick, people, because Like I think I said this on the other episode. I hate watching travel shows or cooking shows where they travel around the world. They take you to a city. You're like, cool, this is a place I always wanted to go. And all they go to is 4-star restaurants.
Mm.
And you're like, bitch, I don't want to see the 4-star or Michelin star restaurant 5 times in Barcelona. I want to see that dope little corner hole in the wall store that's serving dope ass paella. That's what I want.
Mm.
And so that's what we want to bring you on the show is affordable. We don't want to get $120 bottles of scotch and whiskey that you'd be like, wow, I wish I could fucking afford that. And most of our viewership are military anyway, so they're like,
yeah,
I'm not buying that. Someone retiring? Like, I'm not. Even then, like, I'll go deep.
You're throwing
like,
what into the grog?
Yeah, like even then, like if it's a retirement party, someone in the military they're not going to spend a lot of money on the whiskey. They're just going to get an obscure label that you've never heard of and makes you think it's expensive. Like they're not going to bring the Jack, they're not going to bring the Tennessee Walker. They're going to go and find that random fucking bottle that looks kind of cool and fancy, but it was $18. That's what we want to do here. We want to bring you guys a good whiskey. And I think Rico so far has done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Of finding a wide array and a good charcuterie board of intoxication.
I don't know where to go to next, honestly.
Or on the board
in terms of what's currently in my collection. So why don't I let Rhodes take the wheel? We have the Kilburn Irish.
Is that what we have left?
Huh?
Is that what we have left?
Yeah.
To try?
Untouchable.
So those 3.
We've got the rye, the Redemption Rye.
Okay.
The Naked Grouse. It is a malt Scotch whiskey. I've not had a malt Scotch whiskey before. We've got the Kilburn Irish.
These are all very different.
They're very different. That's what I wanted to go with.
I almost feel bad for comparing, all these different kinds of whiskeys against each other.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's for, I guess, lack of a better term, it is artisanal because people are doing things very differently, and making things that is quite unique.
No, I agree. Hold on, my dog's trying to escape.
So that's what we have currently for the next 3 or 4 weeks of what we're going with. I am thinking of going with the rye next week.
I was gonna say naked.
Naked? You want to go with the malted Scotch?
I've never tried any of these. I've never tried Irish whiskey besides, Jameson was a good go-to for Irish whiskey for me, and I like Jameson, even though that is a heavy alcohol kick right in the fucking neck.
What I don't like actually is Johnny Walker. It has such a metallic taste to me. Where'd you go? I'm trying to switch things back. There we go.
We're still trying to figure this out, guys. It's only been like a year and a half.
So this is going to be interesting. This is, again, Naked Grouse, and it is 43%. So it's not a too ridiculous proof. It's a blended malt Scotch whiskey, and I did not realize upon purchasing that this was matured in sherry oak casks. So I kind of expect this to be sweeter than I expected, but we'll see. I guess we'll find out next week.
I think that might be a good one if we're letting the amateur choose, or the amateur of the group choose. I like the naked aspect. I like the engraved glass grouse on the front. That was kind of cool looking. I can't see it as well through the camera, but it looks nice. Looks like a very distinguished bottle.
Very simple.
Yeah.
You know, if I was actually, I would say the bottle from far away is probably a detriment. Like the Balcones sticks
You
out,
see it.
red, gold lettering.
Oh yeah, I didn't
The
even have to ask when I was in the store. I was like, I walked down the aisle and I was like, boom, bright fucking red.
the only thing that catches the eye on this one is the fact that it says naked on top of it. The rest of the bottle from far away, what's on there?
The naked immediately catches my attention. I was gonna say even before you said what kind of whiskey it was.
Yeah,
just because I was like naked. That sounds cool.
This is going to be interesting. I did not, upon purchasing, I did not realize it was matured in a sherry oak cask. Yeah. So I guess we'll try naked next week. You can join me next week if you'd like. Up to you. I've already got my layout set. Yeah, it's up to you completely. And that said, I think we are set on this episode. Any parting words?
I enjoyed it, even though I didn't really, enjoy the whiskey itself. And I apologize for the viewers that are like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Like, just drink water." You're correct. I'm a weird dude. I like my Hefeweizen mixed with Coca-Cola. I'm a weird guy.
It's your palate.
Yes, it is my palate, and I like fruity and like different flavored things, but I don't like going down on the percentage of the alcohol. So that's where I catch you. Because people are like, "Oh, really? You're drinking that? That's weird." And I'm like, "It's still 18% alcohol. That's calm the fuck down."
Oh, I misunderstood what you said. I thought you said you didn't like proofing down like what you had. I think proofing it down changed it.
No. The water did. I mean, like, people would shit on me about drinking Mike's Hard.
Still, it's just fun to shit on you for that.
Yeah, well, yeah, 100%. But it's still the same percentage.
Everyone drinks Mike's Hard. Nobody doesn't.
Well, yeah, because when I would bring them, you fuckers would drink them. And you brought your own goddamn beer. Someone brought a 30-pack of Miller Lite, and I'm like, stop drinking my fucking Mike's Hard.
I'm definitely not a beer guy. I prefer spirits. That said, I will occasionally have a beer. The best country I've ever had a beer is definitely Germany. And
that is actually the only time that I've seen you drink a beer.
Yeah.
Like when we go out, like even when we would go to bars, that was the only time when we would actually, that through the 3 years at Dugway and since, that was the only time I've ever seen you sit down with a beer. And not just like at a restaurant eating, like when we would go to the bar, just you and me to play pool.
Yeah.
Me and you would drink, 4 or 5 Hefeweizens. Like, Germany's the best beer I've ever had. It got me into beer. But I did enjoy this. It was a good whiskey. I think it's too good for me, I think, is where it was.
I don't think so. I think that you're at an early stage. Unfortunately, it does take some training.
Yeah. This is not a training wheel or beginner. This is not a beginner whiskey. Like you were saying in the first episode, like that range that you had on the board, right?
Yeah.
Like with the bucket, you said that would have been a good beginner whiskey.
That would have been a good beginner one for you.
This is not. Like if we're in BJJ terms, Buck 8 white belt, beginner level whiskey. With this Balcones, I would say this is a purple, like a 4-stripe purple belt.
Is that like a middle? Or?
So it's white, blue, purple, brown, black.
Okay.
So 4 stripes is the top part, like you're almost a brown belt. So like 4-stripe purple, you're almost second top there. So Balcones is definitely not the beginner level of whiskey. Buck 8 probably, that a mid-level white belt. That's how I'm grouping it, guys. People that do jiu-jitsu and CrossFit never shut up about jiu-jitsu and CrossFit.
Oh my god, I love jiu-jitsu. I'm totally vegan. I'm so vegan.
Give me a second. Figure it out.
Vegans, jujitsu guys, car guys, PC guys. You know, it's just people.
Everyone has their
Everyone.
thing. Like we have our thing that we don't shut the fuck up about.
That
No,
said,
but it was a
ladies
good
and
episode. It was good. I think it was a good choice, Rico.
gentlemen, much appreciated. We're gonna, next week we'll be doing the naked grouse, and if you want to join in, feel free to share, like, subscribe, pick up a bottle, give us your thoughts in the chat, and we'll go from there. From me and Rhodes, have a good one.